Welcome to Roll Credits, where movie and TV lovers get the trivia they didn't know they needed. This podcast was created with the help of AI tools. While we do our best to keep things accurate and fun, there may occasionally be errors or outdated info, so if you're dropping quotes in your next detective showdown, double-check and enjoy the show. Today, we're heading to Edinburgh's basement for Dept Q, Netflix's new cold case thriller starring Matthew Goode. With gloomy Scottish streets, a misfit team, and secrets buried deep in the archives, we've got the story, the cast, and the clues laid out for you.
Yeah, it's definitely carving out its own space, hasn't it? Even if you think you've seen every crime drama, this one feels, well, different, moody.
It really does. So let's get into it. The core of the show is DCI Carl Morck, right? Played by Matthew Goode.
Yep. And he's not your typical hero cop.
No, definitely not. The sources describe him as brash but brilliant. He used to be top-rated, apparently, but there was this awful shooting incident.
Right, yeah. Left his partner paralyzed, another officer dead. So he's carrying this immense guilt.
And it makes him, well, difficult. A terrible colleague is one description I saw.
Oh, totally. Razor-sharp sarcasm, pushes everyone away. He's not winning any popularity contests.
So how does a character like that anchor a show?
Well, I think it's that damage. You know, it fuels everything. He's not just grumpy, he's properly broken.
Yes.
And his bosses have had enough.
Right, so they stick him in Dept Q.
Exactly, this brand new cold case unit. It's literally in the police station basement. Dingy.
And it's basically just to get him out of sight, right? A PR move.
Pretty much. A place for him and supposedly for forgotten cases to just gather dust.
But that's not quite what happens, is it? He ends up putting together a team.
Yeah, almost by accident, it seems. It's described as this gang of waifs and strays who have everything to prove.
I like that description. So it's a kind of found family situation developing down there.
Sort of, yeah. Slowly. They're all misfits, really. And seeing them kind of connect and figure each other out, it adds this really important human layer to all the darkness.
Against the cold cases.
Exactly. And their first big one is the disappearance of Merritt Lingard. Chloe Peary plays her.
She was a civil servant, an ambitious prosecutor.
Yeah, prominent figure. Vanished 4 years ago. Everyone just assumed she drowned.
Okay, and the show does something interesting with the timeline in that first episode, doesn't it? It's not straightforward.
No, it really wrong-foots you. You think you're watching parallel stories happening now, but then you get this aha moment.
Ah, so Merritt's story is actually the cold case from 4 years prior.
Precisely. It throws you right into Carl's world, piecing things together. But the twist is, we know something Carl doesn't, at least initially.
Which is?
We know Merritt's alive. She's being held captive.
Where?
In a hyperbaric chamber, of all things. You know, those pressurized medical tanks.
Yeah, for diving sickness and stuff. That's terrifying.
It is. It's used as this tool for isolation, psychological torture. She's trying to figure out why she was taken, while Carl's trying to figure out what happened to her. It creates this incredible suspense.
Well, Carl's also dealing with all his own stuff. Bureaucracy. His temple.
Oh, yeah. Court-ordered therapy sessions, which he obviously loves.
I bet. And complications at home, too. A stepson.
Yeah, stepson kind of dumped in his care. So, yeah. He's juggling a lot. A complete wreck, like Matthew Goode said.
A compelling wreck, though. Which leads us nicely into some behind-the-scenes stuff. This show wasn't dreamt up out of nowhere, was it?
No, not at all. It's actually based on a series of Danish crime novels. Stuff. By Jesse Adler Olsen. Really popular.
Right, the Dept Q books. But the show's set in Edinburgh, not Copenhagen.
Yeah, that was a deliberate choice by the creators, Scott Frank and Rob Bullock. They apparently fell in love with Edinburgh and wanted to capture it authentically. You know, the beauty and the gloom side by side.
Which is interesting because they made Carl English and someone who actually dislikes Scotland.
Right. Because of a bad marriage there or something. It really highlights him being an outsider.
But get this, Matthew Goode himself says Scotland is his spiritual home. Loves it there.
That's brilliant. Quite the contrast to play.
And Scott Frank apparently wrote the part for him.
Yeah, specifically with Goode in mind. He saw past the sort of posh roles Goode often plays and recognized his versatility, that intensity he has.
And Goode certainly leaned into the unpleasantness. He calls Carl extremely abrasive, vitriolically rude, very damaged.
A wreck of a man, I think was the phrase.
Yeah. And he had a tough time physically during the shoot, too, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He got ill, lost his voice for some key scenes, apparently. Had to go back and re-record the dialogue later. ADR, you know.
Wow, that's rough. Especially on top of playing such an intense role.
Absolutely. Shows the commitment, doesn't it? He said making the series felt like making 4 or 5 films back to back.
I can imagine. Now, speaking of intense dynamics, let's talk about the therapy scenes. Kelly MacDonald plays Dr. Rachel Irving.
Brilliant casting.
Absolutely. And Scott Frank didn't want the typical TV therapy sessions, did he?
No, he wanted something different. He said Rachel should hate being there as much as he does. She doesn't put up with Carl's. His shtick.
His nonsense, basically.
Exactly. And because she doesn't, he starts to respect her. It's an interesting dynamic.
And apparently there was a great unscripted line.
Oh, yeah, Goode had mentioned this. Carl asked something like, should I pee in a cup?
Okay.
And Rachel just deadpans. Only if that's where you normally do it.
Huh. Perfect. That sums it up.
Totally. Goode did say filming those scenes could be tricky, though, because they had big gaps between their shooting days sometimes. Hard to maintain that specific energy.
Sure. But ultimately, Carl does kind of need the therapy, doesn't he? Even if he resists.
Oh, definitely. And what's good is the show lets them build this friendship. It's not immediately pushed into romance.
Right. It feels more real that way. Though, people are wondering.
Oh, sure. The possibility is there for the future, maybe, but it's not forced.
And the setting plays a huge part, too. Edinburgh.
Oh, massively. They filmed all over Edinburgh, apparently. Glasgow, too. The city really feels like another character.
Goode said he was amazed by it on his first visit, that whole medieval modern vibe.
Yeah, perfect for this kind of dark, layered story.
And they had some adventures filming, something about a ferry.
Huh, yeah, a ferry trip up north somewhere. Apparently, a lot of people got seasick. Fun times on location.
Sounds like it. Did Goode mention any favorite spots?
He did, actually.
Huh.
A quiet pub called the Star Bar. And he apparently made a pilgrimage to the Oxford Bar.
Ah, the Rebus connection.
Exactly. Paying homage to another famous Edinburgh detective. Nice touch.
Okay, now for something really weird. That Netflix glitch on release day.
Oh, yeah, that was bizarre. May 29th, 2025. People are watching mid-episode.
And poof, it just disappears. Not available in your area.
Exactly. Mass confusion, frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Reddit blew up with people asking, is it just me?
I can only imagine. So Netflix knew about it.
Yeah, they put out statements saying they were aware and fixing it. It came back eventually, but yeah, very strange, specific glitch just for Dept.
Yeah, added to the mystery, I suppose. Okay, let's talk about the wider cast, because it's seriously impressive.
It really is. Beyond Goode, who is just fantastic as this flawed DCI.
And his transformation from roles like in Downton Abbey or The Good Wife is pretty striking.
Totally. And Kelly MacDonald is Dr. Irving. We talked about her, but she's just so good at playing those observant, grounded characters, like her role in Boardwalk Empire.
Right, she got Emmy and Golden Globe nominations for that. She brings that same sort of quiet intensity here.
Definitely.
Yep.
Then you got Alex Uzmandalov as Akram Salim, Carl's assistant.
Ah, yes, the calm, thoughtful counterpoint to Carl's chaos. That chalk and cheese dynamic.
Exactly. And Leah Byrne plays Rose Dixon, the detective constable dealing with PTSD. She's been called a bit of a revelation.
Adds another layer of vulnerability to the team.
For sure. And Chloe Peary, as Merritt Lingard, the cold case victim, she has this haunting presence throughout.
You might know her from The Queen's Gambit. She played Beth Harmon's mother.
That's right. Or the Waldo Moment episode of Black Mirror.
Ah, okay. And the supporting cast is packed with great Scottish actors, too.
Oh, yeah. Mark Bonnar's in it. Goode said he was initially terrified of him, but found him lovely.
Huh. And Jamie Sivs plays Hardy, Carl's partner who gets injured. Kate Dickey's in there.
And Shirley Henderson, Moaning Myrtle herself.
No way. Who does she play?
A character named Claire Marsh. It's just stacked. What a cast.
It really is. Which speaks volumes about the production and the person steering it, Scott Frank.
Yeah, the writer, director, creator. His name carries a lot of weight after things like The Queen's Gambit, Logan.
People say he's one of our great writers and directors. What is it about his style?
Well, a key thing is he trusts the audience. He doesn't write down to you. He expects you to be intelligent to follow complex stories.
And that must attract top actors, too.
Absolutely. And he's apparently got plans for more Dept Q hopes for 5 or 6 seasons, adapting more of the books.
Wow. So this first season sets the stage. It's 9 episodes.
Yep. Around 45 minutes to an hour each.
Yeah.
And it's very focused. One cold case across the whole season.
Not case of the week.
No, not at all. It's deliberately paced, really takes its time. Someone compared the methodical approach to The Wire.
High praise.
It allows for that deep character development alongside the investigation.
Yeah.
You really get invested. It rewards patience, you know.
And it's all based on those Jussi Adler-Olsen novels. How many are there?
10, I believe. So
Yeah.
Plenty more material to mine for stories.
Okay. And the ending of season 1. Did it wrap things up neatly?
Mostly, yeah. The main cold case, Merritt Lingard's case, is solved. The team is sort of solidified there in the basement, but
Cliffhangers.
some viewers felt there were minor threads left dangling. Things like Dr. Wallace's story. Little things that could be picked up. Not massive cliffhangers, but enough to make you wonder.
Seeds for the future, maybe?
Could be. And Scott Frank mentioned he has a great idea for a second season already.
Oh, yeah. What's the plan?
Apparently, it would involve tackling another cold case, but also a current case running alongside it.
Ooh, interesting. A dual timeline kind of thing again?
Potentially. And he also floated the idea of maybe doing 6 episodes next time instead of 9.
Tighter focus, maybe? Shows they're thinking about adapting the structure to the story.
Exactly. Adapting the adaptation, you could say.
Well, there's certainly a lot to dig into there.
Definitely a show that stays with you after you finish watching.
And that wraps our trip through Dept Q. If you loved stalking Edgar Allan Poe vibes and cold case revelations, follow Roll Credits and share it with your fellow detective squad. We'll be back soon with more trivia and maybe more missing persons. Until then, keep your eyes on the basement.